Hey, hey, hey. You know what surprised me recently was when someone called the PlayStation 2 a retro game console. And I was like, the PS2? That's retro now? Bro, the PS2 is still futuristic. What the hell are you talking about? And then I remembered, I'm 40. Mm-hmm. I'm old. Armor Core 2? Final Fantasy 10? Jack and Daxter? That's retro now? Now, when someone says retro, I think of like the 8-bit, man. I don't think I know like ray trace capable freaking console. That's retro? Alright. I'll admit. I'm old and I didn't change with the times apparently. But in that vein, because I like to talk about old games, let's talk about what is apparently now a retro game. Let's talk about Dark Cloud 2. Or Dark Chronicle if you're in the UK, where I don't think the first Dark Cloud, which was called Dark Chronicle in Japan, but in Dark Chronicle 2 was the sequel in Japan. But over here, we got Dark Cloud and then Dark Cloud 2. But in the Europe and in Australia, I think they only got the sequel, and that was just called Dark Chronicle. Yeah, it's one of those games. Now, here's the thing. Dark Cloud 2 came out around pretty much the same time as Final Fantasy X-2, a game that I love, and there was a bit of a contention around that time of, is Final Fantasy X-2 or Dark Cloud 2 the RPG of the month? Because it came out like, around the same time. And I still remember a dude who used to go by the name of Dagger Strike. Way back on RPG Fan, way back in the day. And he told me, put down this stupid Barbie simulator and play a real game. Dark Cloud 2 might actually be one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. And it's only $40 at Best Buy right now. Go get it, idiot. Dagger Strike's also the person who told me to go buy Led Zeppelin's Zoso album, if that's any indication of his preferences and tastes. He was right about a lot of things, okay? I go out and I buy it, and I'm like, I'll check it out for sure. I mean, I'm really into the Final Fantasy X-2 right now. I mean, dude, I just got some cool dress spheres and some new dress sphere grids, and oh, this is a town building action RPG roguelite? Yeah? That doesn't suck like the first one? I did not like the first Dark Cloud. I could make a whole video about how that's actually one of the worst games ever made, and I'm shocked that Level 5 was responsible for it. Because Level 5 went on to become quite prolific. But wow, Dark Cloud 1, what an absolute dog pile. That game is terrible. I've seen better hitboxes and bootleg Super Nintendo Pokemon games from China. Like, it's... jank would be a compliment. That would be an improvement in quality over the first Dark Cloud. Excuse me. Welcome to my tent. I spit. I don't give a shit what you think. And sometimes I cuss. Sometimes. I try not to. But right now, let's just let it all out. If you'll forgive me for these brief human moments of expletives, which I'm probably going to say as I talk about this game, that I am extraordinarily passionate about, and I'm going to talk way too long about it. The second game is an improvement over the first in every way, and you should play the first game to see how much of a piece of crap it was, and then see how good ideas can exist in a bad game, and how you can make a good game out of good ideas, even if the game is bad. Second Dark Cloud, it opens up your inventor child mans. and you're going to the circus with your good friend and taking pictures of stuff. And then you see that there's some creepy clown people doing some shady noise up in South Central, and they're about to straight murk on you for crip stepping into their private meeting. So you just start booking it down an alleyway, and one of your best friends who lives in a sewer like a Ninja Turtle, this all happens, he helps you escape. And then it's like, Donnie, I gotta get out of this place. The city's holding me back, man. I want to see the outside world. I gotta find my mother. I know she's out there somewhere, which I think is a really cool story, because Max, he comes from an affluent family. He has money literally buys him anything he wants. But the thing he wants most is to venture out into the world and find his estranged mother. He doesn't want a life of luxury. In fact, he's quite handy. One of the coolest things in any game ever is in Dark Cloud. Well, actually, there's a couple things that are the coolest thing ever in Dark Cloud 2. I haven't even... Wait till I get into Spheda. I have stories. But very early on, you will invent a camera under the tutelage of a master inventor. You will use that camera so much as you play through this game. Every single thing that you take a picture of can become an invention idea. Just like, oh, these exhaust pipes, that's an idea for an invention. This generator, this motor, the way this propeller works, this stream of water, this particular enemy attack during this part of its attack animation, that's an invention idea. And at first, you'll kind of be combining ideas, and it's like, oh, these things ain't working. But then eventually, Max will be like, these two things definitely go together, but I don't know what that third thing could be. Maybe if it looked like this, or if it was this color or something. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to find something that meets this criteria. I'm going to take a picture of that last thing. We're going to invent this thing. We're going to make the blueprints for it. Then we're going to go do a bunch of randomly generated dungeon runs, leveling up a bunch of... Oh, God, the weapon leveling up is so freaking sweet, man. Then we're going to go collect a bunch of materials so that we can go invent this stuff that we got ideas for by taking pictures of it. I adore that system so much. It's so cool because you can completely ignore it. For the most part of the game, you don't have to take pictures of damn near anything. But if you go out of your way, Beyond Good and Evil style, and take pictures of everything, you're going to end up a little more kitted out than the people that don't. But anyway, I have a spittoon out here. Don't worry about it. Of all things, this game has the balls to make the sewer world level thing be the beginning of the game. If you've been playing games for at least a decade, you should damn well know by now that sewer stages, sewer levels, sewer sections, sewer set pieces in games, everyone hates them because they suck. Dark Cloud 2 opens up with a sewer level, and it's good, and it's dope, and it's visually appealing to look at and walk through and navigate, and it's like, something about this game already ain't normal. You start out with a wrench and a little handgun, and you Max perpetually dual wields like a straight pimp, walking along casino aisles, just I'm playing more than your machines. Watch me shine, baby. He has always got a melee weapon in his right hand, which is a wrench with like a spiked drill on it, or some type of explosive hammer that pukes lightning and fire when you hit enemies with it. But his left hand, he's always packing a gun of some type. Now, when you press square, the attack button, he'll swing and do a melee combo because it's an action RPG with the wrench. Press and hold the button, he charges it up and does a 360 spin attack, heavy damage, knocks things down. Knocking enemies down is really important because that's how you can get extra attacks, kicking them with your foot and not using... I don't think it uses your weapon hit points. Because your weapons have durability in this game. It's not as bad as it sounds. It floods you with repair powders, so don't worry about it. The first game is another matter where your weapon could break in the first floor and you might not get a repair powder because the first game sucks. I'm going to keep saying that. But if you hold, I think it's R1, and then you press the attack button, now you'd be shooting your gun. Now you'd be using your long-range weapon instead. And whenever you defeat an enemy, they drop these little EXP orbs. And depending on the weapon you defeated an enemy with, that's what gets the EXP. You knock them out with a melee weapon, the EXP goes to your melee weapon. Same with ranged weapon. However, there's ways to game the system. Example, you can equip a strong melee weapon, take out some strong enemies, and switch into a weaker weapon, and it can gain tons of level ups off higher level enemies. Why does it matter? Because the way you customize your weapons in this game is your weapons gain levels, but they don't gain stats from leveling up. They gain like spectral fusion energy points. So let's just say I leveled this weapon up twice. It's got 6 spectral energy points. I can break down 3 crystals, for example, 2 scale crystals and a lightning crystal, and I can give 3 points of electrical damage and make it deal bonus damage to scaled type monsters. And your weapons have evolution tier trees that you can go down, and you'll constantly be finding like fodder weapons that are designed to like just get this thing to level 5 so that you can break this weapon down into synth fuel, and you start like fusing weapons into each other so that they can quickly reach new evolution trees. And oh man, it's freaking fire. It's so dope, dude. The weapon designs look cool. It's exciting to evolve a new weapon and see what it's going to turn into. And it's not just visual. Max has actually a variety of different gun types. He has, just a projectile that's just like a single bullet. He gets missile launchers, laser guns, all kinds of different guns that behave slightly differently. And it's just a blast to be like, oh man, what kind of gun am I going to get this time? What kind of evolution tree does this one eventually evolve into? And then you have the other character you play as, Monica. She uses swords and magical armbands. And oh my gosh, I'm barfing so much about this game. I love it so much, dude. I have to get into the part that I love the most, though, so forgive me for expediting a little bit. After you get out of the sewer level and you end up in the forest area, that's where the town building aspect comes into play. As you go through these randomly generated floors in these dungeons, you'll start finding these geostones, and inside of them are things like trees, rivers, buildings, and people who used to live here. Things like that, And your goal is to create something, because, like the evil god came and he like wiped everything out and locked everything inside of these geostones. And when you find and collect them, you can unleash the hidden lost ideas of these things that once used to exist and kind of like rebuild the world type of deal. And it'll tell you things like in the forest area, it's like you need to place like these specific trees next to each other, and they have to be next to this much of a section of river water, because you go into the future in those areas. And depending on how you build things in the present, it's going to change what they eventually become in the future. And every time you hit a new tier of like, oh, you successfully completed this task and, made this thing appear in the future, that's when you get like your max HP upgrades and your defense upgrades and things like that. So big rewards for doing the town building. You kind of have to, but for 100% completing it, you get a bunch of stat up items, which are the only way to get them, basically. Well, one of the only ways. Before I start long barfing about my favorite thing in this game, I want to say that when I was playing this game, in my youth, when it was brand new, there was a point that I looked at the clock and realized I've been playing this game for 3 hours and I haven't fought anything. I've just been walking around taking pictures of things, getting invention ideas, inventing things, buying materials, creating new things, and racing my fish. There is an entire mini game inside of this game that hinges off of the whole fish racing mini game hinges off of the fish raising mini game, which is an extension of the fishing mini game, a thing you can do once you clear all the enemies in the floor of a dungeon. You can go fishing in certain ponds of water, and you can keep some of those fish and put them in better fish tanks that you can continually craft better versions of that hold more fish to raise the ultimate fish to win the fish racing championships. And for 3 hours, all I did was raise fish and take pictures of things and invent things, and didn't fight a single thing. I didn't go into a dungeon or engage in any form of combat. And I was doing that for 3 hours. And I was just like, I'm having the time of my effing life right now. And I think one of the big reasons for that is the music in this game, which I'm actually listening to right now, is so good, man. I mean, for real, most tracks in this game are just so relaxing to listen to. Wonderfully composed, bright, vibrant, whimsical energy about. And one of my favorite songs of all time is when you clear all the enemies in a floor, and it's just like, yo, it's chill river banjo guitar time. And nothing in the world's bad right now. And that is a song that plays while you're fishing. And also while you were doing my favorite mini game in any game ever made, Sfida. Ultimate mini golf, baby. Once you get, I think, like a third of the way into the third chapter, when you get to the canyon area, that's when Monica's like, oh, hey, look, there's a black hole quantum displacement of space and time because we're messing with the fabric of reality by going to the future all the time. These are common where I come from. And in fact, in my country, we made a little mini game out of we have this little magical ball that can, untangle the quantum particles of these anomalies. And instead of just picking the ball up and fixing the rip in fabric in reality, we hit it with golf clubs. It's a national pastime, and you're gonna follow the rules, Max. This is a point in the game when you've been, building up swords and, ice brands, fire sabers, dragon slayers and stuff, making magical armbands that puke, ball lightning and shoot cyclones, fireballs and things. Making rocket launchers, flamethrowers, submachine guns, putting rotating brass power drills on the back end of your monkey wrench so that you can just really bust a skull open. And now, of all things, it's time to evolve and level up golf clubs. You can actually swing the golf clubs as weapons and attack enemies with them. Their durability will go down really quick, but you can actually do it. What you're intended to do is use either Monica or Max, have them use a normal melee weapon, defeat enemies, and then switch into your golf club to collect the EXP so that you can level up your golf club so that you can make more powerful drivers and things like that. You actually do this in this game. And I think it's the best way to, close off a randomly generated floor. It's like I collected all the treasure, I got all the geostones, I defeated all the enemies. Now it's time to maybe go fishing for a few minutes. Alright, time to pick up the old bag of clubs, just knock a ball around into some holes. Alright, now we can go on to the next floor. And the rewards for playing the little Sfida mini golf game are like basically some of the best in the game. Like, you actually can get stat up items from it. Sometimes it'll just be like, here's 50 repair powders for your guns. Here's some rare gemstones, which will give you, like plus 20 on every single stat on your weapons when you fuse them into it with the spectral energy thing. And oh my gosh, dude, it's such a fantastic game. Probably my only complaint about it is that I think it's staggeringly difficult for newcomers, because this is a game where you're probably going to die on like 3 or 4 hits. I guess maybe it's a little Dark Souls-ish. It's not that hard to go through it and not take damage, but you are going to get hit sometimes. And you can only get hit so many times before that character's out. So it's highly rewarding for consistent, continuous, skilled gameplay. Not just I did a cool thing every once in a while, but can you keep playing like a pro? Then this game will reward you and make you feel good. I mean, it's seriously just one of the most fun experiences I've ever had with a game. I think in a casual first-time playthrough, realistically, it's probably a 90-hour-long game. If you're going on an invention spree and you want to take pictures of everything and clear everything and then do like the secret last 9th chapter and the super ultimate dungeon, I think you're looking at a good at least 110-hour-long game. And it is chock full of fantastic content. Everything about it owns. All the systems play into each other perfectly. Everything synergizes magnificently. Looks and sounds great. Really just one of the best games on the PlayStation 2. And if you've never played it, you're missing out on an actual masterpiece. Nothing but praise for Dark Cloud 2 from me. Anyway, thank you for listening. Appreciate y'all's time. Have a good one. God bless. I'm out.